to get a look at
Hello, everyone. It's Charlton,
troopers
and
maybe if their guns
they
are still drawn. Can we zoom in
apparently
a little
have
bit
caught the
and,
Boston bomber. He
seeing what
committed
you're
suicide
seeing
when they were
as
pursuing
we're
him.
talking here?
They
Sure.
located
Basically
him,
trying
I
to
believe,
figure out,
at a hotel.
basically trying to figure out whether those guns were drawn because of
Speaking
that
over a
person
live
at the
feed,
camera we saw,
they're at
or if,
another location, a house,
it was
which I
something
think
else. It
they're
does appear to be
saying may be the
more
house of the
subdued than
bomber,
it
or where he
was,
might have been staying
just a few seconds
prior
ago.
to sort of going prior to the incident
that
last
just gives
night.
you an idea of how seriously, obviously, law enforcement are taking this. If there is a crime scene tape, whether you're with the media or whether you're just a neighbor trying to figure out what's going on and going to this scene, don't do it, because they're going to make sure that you are where you're supposed to be. And if you're crossing that crime scene tape, you are stepping into their investigation, and that is not a good thing. Lauren, what else can you tell us as far as the area there?
So
this is a residential area?
Yes, Sally.
supposedly
it is,
this might be the home of the bomber. We don't know his identity.
Two-story homes here, a residential area. Again, we're standing at 2nd Street and Walnut Street. This is just east of Pecan. We're about less than a mile away from Pflugerville High School, but absolutely a residential area. We've seen a couple cars driving by, but again, authorities here just trying to keep people back here at this point, where this trooper vehicle is blocking the intersection where we're at, Walnut and 2nd. As he told me earlier, I believe the suspect's home is down there past Wilbarger, where we just saw officers with weapons drawn. But again, we do believe that's related to possibly media getting too close.
Sure.
They want us to stay back.
Yeah. And Lauren, have you seen are the people that live in that area there, say down that street there that has been blocked off by the troopers' SUV, has anybody come out of their homes?
Somehow they located the suspect last night, I believe, in a hotel parking lot, and he fled in his vehicle near I-35, which is closed right now, and at one point drove into a ditch. As SWAT is literally bearing down on his vehicle, he detonated a bomb inside of his own car and blew himself up, killed himself. And he was, I think, completely destroyed. He's a 24-year-old white male. They have not released any other identifying features of him, although they, here they are, presumably at his house, in Pflugerville, which he was found in North Austin, north of Austin, at I-35.
I see what appears to be like a red kind of shed or mini barn type thing in the backyard of one of these homes. It would be directly over that state trooper's vehicle there, where we see the trooper standing next to it. Is that the home that you think that they're focusing on?
I'm seeing exactly what you're seeing.
Yeah.
I'll try to get a better view here as we leave, but that is the side of the street that we're seeing police activity on, the right side over there.
Okay, Lauren Kravitz, we appreciate you giving us the heads up on this and staying on your toes out there. Please stay safe as well. It is coming up on the 8 o'clock hour right now, and if you are
so he was saying, is that the home with the red shed? They don't know though. They don't know. But if they're at 2nd and Walnut in Pflugerville, it's very easy to Google sort of satellite and pinpoint but they don't know if that's the home they're focusing on. So it's very you got to be very careful. You'll identify the wrong home.
Police said that they had been out looking for a vehicle they believe was tied to the suspect, spotted that vehicle at the Red Roof Inn Hotel there along the road. They were watching, waiting to get some more support coming in before they confronted the person, but during that time, the suspect got in the car and started driving south on I-35. They followed, and at some point, police said they don't know why, but that the suspect pulled over onto the side of the highway, and that's when police began to move in. A SWAT officer started approaching the vehicle, and there was an explosion inside the vehicle. A bomb inside the vehicle exploded. The police opened fire as well. One of those SWAT officers suffered minor injuries from that blast, but is expected to be okay. The suspect, though, was killed, and police have said they are pretty confident that this is the suspect that they have been looking for. Chief Brian Manley said that it was a combination of witnesses and surveillance images, be it video or still images, that caused them to sort of focus in on this person. This video we're looking at here was given to us by a person who happened to be driving by on I-35 early this morning when this all went down. And from what we have been told and what we have heard from witnesses, there was a massive response from police. Somebody described it as police cars tearing down I-35 to get to this situation. And then this is another video that was sent to us from a man named Michael Luna, who was staying in that Red Roof Inn, and he said he heard the blast, and this then is the video of the police reaction to it, he said, which came shortly after that. Mr. Luna told us that he is a former military man, and that the blast to him sounded like 2 grenades. Other people who have described the blast, one man said it sounded like a truck hitting a dumpster, that it had a more hollow sort of metallic sound. But Mr. Luna is saying that given his military background, he recognized that sound as being similar to a grenade going off. He actually described 2 grenades, and a lot of the other witnesses had said, it didn't sound like what they expected an explosion to sound like, but that lots of times that's based on what we see in movies and TV and things like that. And Mr. Luna, though, saying that it did sound like an explosive device to him. Police have been out there on this scene now for coming up on 6 hours. What we have seen a lot of is they'll get into they're wearing white coveralls, and they'll get into a line, and they will walk together in a line across what is suspected to be a debris field from that blast, and they're looking for any piece of evidence that they can find. And we have said in the past that they're literally and figuratively trying to piece together evidence in this case.
They are, because when we look at the explosions and the most recent one that happened in southwest Austin, it gives you an idea of the debris field that they're working with. Certainly the explosion in Round Rock that happened inside the car with the suspect is no different.
Okay, so that's crazy, man. It's really, it's nuts.
All of these pieces. The pieces that have been collected in
they're telling the public to be careful because there still might be packages out there that they don't know where he was in his last 24 hours. I'd say it's likely that, well, it's hard to say, but the FedEx facility, the drop-off location where the 2 packages went from the FedEx drop-off location to San Antonio and then were destined to come back to Austin, that's where surveillance footage might have been picked up of him.
To zoom in into that area and Round Rock to finally take this person down. And they said that this person was under surveillance. So we had been hearing that there was a lot of police activity in the Pflugerville area last night, and then also in the area because of some surveillance that maybe was happening high above the ground. And this was all in an effort, these federal agents and APD, because they were surveilling this suspect, and they wanted to do whatever they could to not only protect the investigation, the integrity of it, but get as much information as they could from their suspect. So they wanted to take him down peacefully, but they knew going into this that this person could have another explosive device on him, and that it may not end peacefully the way they wanted it to. And it did not, with this person blowing themselves up in their vehicle off the side of the road. And thankfully, none of the law enforcement involved in trying to take him down, SWAT members, were injured in that explosion, except it was fatal for this person who Austin police say that they really had identified over the last 24 hours with where this person was. And they still say this morning at 8:02 that there is no motive that they can go on right now about why would this 24-year-old white man plant bombs on the front steps of doors and in neighborhoods in Austin. Why were they putting tripwire in a neighborhood in southwest Austin that injured 2 other people? Why would they send 2 packages from the FedEx facility in Sunset Valley to 2 addresses, 2 homes in Austin? One exploded at the FedEx facility in Shirts. Big break for investigators. That's how they were able to figure out that the packages were being mailed through FedEx. That's another clue that led them to this person overnight. They can also tell us, Austin police, that they know who those packages were meant for, but they're not saying their names. They will only say they've been in contact with those people. So very much still an active investigation. It is not slowing down. It is one that has come to an end for one chapter with the bombing suspect.
All right,
dead,
so he had been
another
under
one
surveillance.
continues to
They
figure
knew
out,
who he was
can
in the
they
last,
go into
whatever,
that person's
24
house that they
hours.
think
You
is
know,
over
and she
there
was
in
saying that I was
Pflugerville, and
talking
that
over
the
her.
police
Sorry
activity
about that.
suggests from our live look there? Can they go into that house safely? What will they find? Will they find more explosives? Will they find material? Will they find any kind of letter, any kind of indication to give them an idea of what this person was thinking, what was going through their head? And still trying to figure out, were these random attacks? Were they targeted attacks? There is so much more investigators are trying to understand at this hour. So there is no slowdown with the 500 agents who are still working on this case, because they still very much want you to know you need to be on high alert until they can figure out there are no more explosives that this person planted over the past 24 hours where he wasn't seen. Then you cannot let your guard down.
An interesting question that comes out of all of this, too, is, unfortunately, we've become conditioned that when we think of
all right, I'm going to end
like
it there.
we think of
Still don't know the
trying to put this
identity of it. They're talking about it on Fox. The governor of Fox, the governor of Texas is on Fox right now.
Southwest was going
Governor
on
Greg Abbott.
when this string of bombings was happening.
And I'm sure we'll find out the identity and why he did this. I wonder if that Reddit posting, could have very well been him. I mean, it seemed like visiting the FedEx drop-off facility where there's surveillance cameras everywhere. Not long after that, or around that same time, somebody's posting on Reddit claiming that they're the Austin bomber.
Smart in avoiding areas that would have surveillance cameras.
This guy here,
obviously downtown Austin, 6th Street would be a place that would have a lot of those. And instead going into these residential neighborhoods. But then it appears that this person walked right into a FedEx store that one would have to assume
I wonder,
would have these kind of cameras both at the door.
I'm sure the authorities know, or they will know. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. I'll see you in the next video. I'll update you as soon as we know the identity, which I believe will be shortly. I really do. I'll see you later, man.
FedEx
Later.
there on